Each week at City Church, we talk about how your giving makes a difference, and we talk about the places globally that we strategically partner with. Isaac and Hannah Armstrong and their family in Mexico are part of our contact, so we wanted to bring you a face with a name today and give you guys some insight into the Armstrong family. Hi, Isaac. How are you?
Hey, Carmen. Doing good.
Good. Well, we appreciate your time here. So
thank
you literally just got off the airplane with Jim and the crew from Kenya.
Yes.
So how are you feeling right now?
I'm coming back. I'm going to come back strong. So
Okay, good. Good. So tell me about your family.
Hannah and I have been married for 18 years, and we have 3 wonderful boys. Landon is 15 now, Luke is 11, and Judd is 6. So they were all born in Mexico, and Hannah and I have been there in Mexico working since 2003. Mm-hmm. And we love what we do. Hannah homeschools the boys, and so that's a big part of her life and her day. But we love what God has us doing there in Mexico.
That's awesome. Yeah. So Jim and I have been lifelong friends of you and Hannah. So we, of course, are very familiar with you guys. But tell us, where did you and Hannah go from when you moved to Mexico?
We were both going to school at the University of Alabama. I finished in 2001. So we were both working at a church there in Tuscaloosa, and we were also doing inner city work and inner city ministry. So after we got married in 2001, we moved into the projects and just began to do a lot of work there in the inner city, and we did that for a couple years until 2003. And when we left Tuscaloosa, Alabama in 2003, that's when we went to Mexico.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And you guys spent 1 year in school and learning Spanish, correct?
Yeah, we spent it ended up being about 10 months. So we spent 9 months of actual classes, doing studies that way, and then we spent a month of what they call practicum, which is just going out and working, doing daily life stuff. But in about 10 months, then we moved further south to where we live now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the ministry that's there in Mexico.
Yeah, I work with Freedom Ministries, a ministry that's been around for 40 plus years now.
Wow.
And our heart is the indigenous people of Mexico. Now, through that, of course, it spills out into all walks of life and everything. But our heart is to work in the rural areas, in the villages, if you will, of Mexico, and plant churches, spread the gospel, teach people about Jesus, and then start churches and raise up pastors to help us run those churches, and that's the bulk of what we do.
Have you ever been to a village where you walked in and maybe that certain group of people have never been outside of their area, outside of their village?
Yeah, especially in that culture, in the Indian culture, a lot of them don't go very far from their village. Yeah. That's changed some over the years, just as technology and culture has changed, just like around the world. But for the most part, yeah, they're still very much that way. And we've been to places, and we were the first, white people, quote unquote, to go and to ever share the gospel in a place. And so we've gotten to do that some over the years, and it's an awesome feeling.
Yeah.
So it's something that we call it pioneering, going out into new places. But then a large part of what's in my heart also to do is pioneer those areas and then father those people in the faith and raise them up through the years. That's
good. Yeah. So what's that like, walking into a village for the first time?
It's awesome. It's just special. You feel, I don't know. When I preach, sometimes I talk about, it's really awesome to get up and then just go do what the Bible says. And sometimes when you're doing that kind of stuff, you just feel like you're living right off of the pages of the Bible. You're doing what Paul and Peter and all those guys did. And so I love that feeling of doing the things that the fathers of the faith and mothers of the faith have done. And so I guess that's kind of what I feel like when it happens.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So there's days where you get up, hike a while, and preach and love on people. And
yeah. We spend the bulk of our time getting to places, getting to villages. There again, that's changed some over the years, just as roads and things have gotten better. But yeah, we drive, hike, do all kinds of stuff to get to where we go. But we spend a lot of time getting to places.
Yeah, that's awesome. I have a lot of respect for Hannah because, like you said,
she's a trooper.
She hangs back and does the school and the mom thing.
She does. She goes about. We try as a family. Our heart is to have them with me in the village about half of the time. Yeah. So that's not exact every month, but
yeah. And close. God bless you with 3 awesome boys that are strong and able to help. And
they're helpers, and they're troopers. I can take them anywhere around the world, and they do a good job.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What would you say has been a high? I want to kind of hear like the contrast of the highs and the lows throughout your time there. So
yeah, there's been days when I didn't have a penny to my name. I was sick. One time I was losing eyesight in my right eye and really struggling just emotionally, and it was just a rough time for us down there, and things were kind of there was a lot of violence and things that we were having to navigate. So that was a really hard time, but it was in that season when God really began to speak to my heart and touch my heart and just teach me the value of being with him. And I guess one of my things I regret the most, if you talk about regrets, but just getting caught up in the performance of having to share a new story or tell all the numbers and all that stuff, and that's all valid and true. I get that, but I don't want to get caught up in the performance. I just want to just love Jesus and make much of Jesus, like you guys say all the time. And I believe that I do that by spending time with him and then going out and sharing that experience with the people. So I don't know. I guess those are some of I would say those times of greatest struggle have also been the days that turned into the times I've grown the most.
That's good.
Yeah.
We had a conversation not very long ago with some of our staff. We were talking about how the daily grind, like the routine matters, and the woman at the well, like Jesus met her in her routine. Mm-hmm. So yes, you do have the highs and lows, and the stories matter, like you said, because it gives you perspective. You hear what God is doing. It encourages, it gives hope, but those come through the daily grind.
Yeah. And I've seen that, in the day of your greatest need, you get to see Father, God from that direction, mm-hmm. and then in the day of your greatest victory, you get to see him from a different direction. And you mm-hmm. use the word as perspective, but just what we're going through just changes our perspective, but he's still that good. He's still, so loving. And so it just gives us a different opportunity and a different perspective, a different way to see him that day. And then you just keep moving.
I love how the gospel is universal, because exactly how you guys can live it there in Mexico on the mountains, it can be lived on the streets, in the city or whatever. And so it's amazing how you can live out the pages of the gospel, like you were saying. That's really encouraging. Yeah. That's a good thought to take away. How has God been faithful to your family while serving in Mexico?
If you'll set your heart to seek him, he shows up. If you'll set your heart to love him and to do life with him, he wants to do life with you. And so as we've learned that more and more over the years, he's changed the way I father. He's changed the way I love my wife. And so just all of these experiences that have made up this crazy, 2 decades of my life now that we've been down there almost doing this. And it's been crazy. It's been up and down and all of the things, but, they're all good days. Yeah. And as I've learned to grow in him and spend time just in devotion to the Lord, he's helped us all grow. He's helped me be a better father and a husband, and through that, helped Hannah and the boys grow. So he's just been so faithful to respond to us in all the little intricate ways that each and every one of us need him to do. He's just been so faithful to minister to us right where we are, and as long as we keep leaning into him, he's just always there to help us through to the next step.
That's good.
Yeah.
So how can we here in Savannah, how can we remember you guys in prayer?
Of course, protection. It's we go through things down there. Just there's a lot of violence and things at times. So sure, for protection, provision. It takes a lot to get out and get to all these villages. We work in hundreds of villages, and so we spend a lot of time and effort getting to those places, and just that we would grow in wisdom and in the fear of the Lord, just so that we could keep moving forward in our own personal lives with our families, and that would translate into these Indian brothers, first of all, coming to know Jesus, but then really coming through our lives to see an example of what abundant life in him can look like. And just that grace of God would be on us and help us to be wise and humble and all the things that we need to be as a family, because it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
A missions family faces a lot of pressure, and we just need God's grace to help us navigate. And, our kids are getting older, and kids are going to be going to school and all kinds of stuff to help kind of navigate those things well.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, know that your family here in Savannah is praying for you.
Absolutely.
We're praying for protection.
Yes.
Do you know when you'll have your family back here to see us in Savannah?
Probably be the fall of, what are we in, 19? It'll be probably the fall of 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we look forward.
That's what I'm thinking. So.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you guys back.
I can't
Thanks
wait.
for your time. Again, just coming straight off of your Kenya trip with the
Yes.
team, and we really appreciate you coming.
Well, we love City Church, and we love and appreciate all that you've done for us over the years. It means a lot to us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. You heard it straight from here, guys. This is our friend from Mexico, and thank you for your faithfulness in giving and in praying for protection for the Armstrong family and Freedom Ministries.